So last time I tried reading manga for 24 hours straight, it did not go too well. So this time, I have a different plan in mind. I'm gonna be trying to read one series, but not just any series. It's finally time for me to get into this. This is gonna be trying to read the entire One Piece box set #1 in 24 hours. Yokoso, my manga society. So this box set has a total of 23 volumes going through the East Blue and the Baroque Works arcs. What am I gonna be doing differently this 24 hours? Well, first of all, I'm not gonna sleep. I'm just gonna enjoy One Piece. Let's get into it. I'm gonna show the timer in a second, and that's when the 24 hours starts. So it is currently 11:16 at night. We're gonna start this timer for 24 hours, starting now. I will keep you updated as I finish the volumes. Let's just get into volume 1. So volume 1 was a pretty standard first volume. Definitely what you'd expect from a shonen volume 1, especially an older shonen. You just got introduced to Luffy, Zoro, Kobe, Alvida, Captain Morgan, and then at the end of the chapter, you get introduced to Nami, so I'm pretty excited to get into the second volume. The art's definitely a lot better than what you'd expect if you came from the anime. We're just gonna keep moving forward. So moving on to volume 2, we're actually also being introduced to Buggy the Clown. So I'm gonna jump into this volume and see what that's all about. Currently we have 23 hours and 13 minutes left. Making some pretty good progress here. Let's see if we can stay on track. So I just finished volume 2, and let me tell you, absolutely crazy. I forgot how wacky and crazy a lot of the character designs are in One Piece, especially the villains. We get to see Moji, the beast tamer, for the first time. Kabaji, the acrobat, emotional stuff with Chocho, the dog. That's so sad. Look at that. So I just finished volume 3, and it's pretty crazy how fast the manga actually moves. After watching some of the anime, I had gotten 100 episodes in, but this already finishes the whole Buggy fight and then also jumps right into the Usopp introduction, into them learning about how the butler is already a famous pirate captain. Alright, so I just finished volume 4, and this is getting into more of the serious fight with Captain Kuro and the Mioban brothers. Yeah, I think it's just coming to the conclusion of this arc with the Usopp arc. Nothing too crazy going on except for the fighting, and yeah, I'm excited to get into the next arc after this one. So yeah, just like I expected, it is the end of the Usopp introduction arc. I don't know exactly what that arc is called, but they defeated Captain Kuro. For some reason, I don't know why, I thought this was gonna go into, what's his name? The Shark Man guy? But it goes into Barity with the introduction of Sanji. For some reason, that timeline was flipped around for me, but we do get introduced to Sanji, so there he is. Looking pretty slick. And we're currently looking at a time of 20 hours and 15 minutes left. So I just read both volumes 6 and 7. Yeah, it's basically just getting into the Dawn Krieg fight on the Barity, and it does have a little bit of the fight with Zoro and Mihawk, which was pretty cool to see. It's cool to see a lot of the power differences between some of the people from the Grand Line and then some of the current crew. And then we see that Nami escapes, and then volume 7 is basically just the backstory of Sanji. I think it's nearing the end of the Krieg fight, so I believe volume 8 will probably be the end of that fight, and then gets into the Fish People arc. So I just finished volume 8, and yeah, looks like I was right. We did finish the Barity part where they just got Sanji onto the crew. The Krieg fight was definitely one of those shonen fights where it felt like it was dragging a little bit. I feel like I would have liked it to end like a little earlier, but it was good nonetheless, and Sanji joined the crew. Arlong was the name that I was trying to think of earlier. I don't know why I couldn't think of it before, but Arlong Park is the next arc, so excited for that one. I did enjoy that one in the anime, so yeah, I'm excited to get into that. And seeing all the food with the Sanji and the bear tea and the whole food fights and stuff like that got me really hungry, so let's go make some food. So for this meal, I'll be making egg in a hole. If you don't know what that is, it's simply a piece of bread. You cut a hole in it, you put it in the frying pan after buttering it up a little bit to get that nice crisp on it, and then you crack an egg in the middle, you let the egg fry, flip it, voila, we're done. So I'm gonna demonstrate it here for you. I'm gonna make 2 egg in the holes. I have 2 slices of bread here. I usually use 100% whole wheat. We have the pan here on medium heat. So each of these breads, we are going to cut decent size hole, I'd say, just like that. So I'm gonna do that with this one as well, and then I'm gonna butter them in a second. Both pieces of bread with holes in them. I'm just gonna lightly butter both sides of each bread. It's kind of like a grilled cheese, how you'd make a grilled cheese. Now, all we have to do is put the slices of bread in the pan and then crack the egg directly into the middle of the holes that we created. Not forget our seasoning. So we got some salt. You don't want some bland food. I love pepper. It does look ready to flip, so we're gonna flip this over. Oh, that egg is not cooked. I do like my toast a little burnt. So this one here is done just about. I usually cut it into like 9ths or so. Let's take a look at the egg. Ooh, yeah, that's what I like to see. Luffy, put me on the crew.
Snapkin.
So I finished my breakfast, absolutely tasty. And I also finished volume 9. A very good volume. I feel like this is definitely one of the most emotional volumes so far. Definitely get some of Nami's backstory, and then at the end we get Luffy barging in and ready to like take on Arlong. So I'm excited for the next couple volumes because I'm assuming the rest of the Arlong Park is gonna go through volume 11. I actually just read volumes 10 through 14. These volumes were really good. 10 and 11 were actually the end of the East Blue arc. Pretty much just the end of Arlong Park. We get to see, you know, the fight with Luffy and Arlong, and then, you know, Zoro and Sanji fight. And at the end of it, we do get to see that Nami officially joins the crew. And then at the end of volume 11, we do kind of get a transition sort of period into Baroque Works, where they're in the, I don't remember, it's where Gold Roger was executed. So we do get to see a little bit of that. And then volumes 12 through 14. So volume 12, we do get to see them entering the Grand Line, but we do get to see the whale scenes. This then goes into that cactus city where they learn that the entire city is run by Baroque Works, which then goes into volume 13. They actually learn that one of the higher up agents in Baroque Works is actually the Princess of Alabasta. They eventually get to the point where they need to get her to Alabasta to like save her kingdom. At the end of this volume, they do get to Little Garden, which is where that starts. And then volume 14, I believe the entirety of this is them fighting like Mr. 3 and Miss Golden Week. Super cool like wax fight and stuff. Like the wax power is like pretty interesting. So yeah, at the end of this, they basically defeat everyone. We also get a mention of Elbaf. I hear that later on. Like, I don't know exactly what's going on in One Piece right now, but I feel like Elbaf is pretty important. 11 hours and 35 minutes left, which is more than enough time to finish 9 volumes, so. Okay, so now that I am squeaky clean, I read volume 15. Volume 15 is pretty exciting because we get the conclusion of the Little Garden story, and then we also come up on Nami being really sick, and they're visiting Drum Kingdom, which I think we all know what that means. We finally get to see Chopper. We also get the first mention of Blackbeard. I don't know when he comes into play later on, but it's interesting that you get all of these references that I've heard of like previously in like spoilers. I have no idea when or how they come into play, but I'm pretty excited to see like how they actually do come into play. Currently trying to find a cure for Nami's sickness. I can say 100% without a doubt in my mind, this was the saddest volume of One Piece that I have ever read. We got Chopper's backstory. This was so emotional, even more so than the anime, I feel like. I don't know how I'm gonna come back from this. I'm gonna try to read some of the next volumes, but this was just so sad. It was so sad. So I just finished volume 17, which means I got through the Chopper recruitment story. And let me tell you, it was so good. I enjoyed it so much. Definitely a lot more than the anime. I mean, this entire manga I've enjoyed more than the anime, for sure. And they defeated Wapol, King Wapol. Overall, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. And we're starting to go to Alabasta now. We get a first look at Crocodile. I've seen a lot of Crocodile before. He looks pretty cool, not gonna lie. I have 6 more volumes. I'll probably update the rest of it like after I read 3 volumes and then the last 3 as well. So super excited to finish this. I do have about 9 hours left to finish this entire thing, which is more than enough time for sure. So these 3 volumes that I just read, volumes 18 through 20, were pretty good. So for volume 18, we actually see Ace for the very first time. For most of this volume, they're just kind of like traveling through the desert trying to get to their destination. And yeah, there's not much really else to it. We get a little backstory for Vivi and also meet some other characters like Mr. Crocodile and Yuba. Volume 19 was also pretty interesting. They got to Rain Base, the casino where Crocodile's at. They get trapped in the cage, which they can't do anything because of the whatever sea stones and like the weaknesses with the gum fruit. And so Vivi tries to save them all, but then we got Sanji coming in. That's kind of like where this volume ends. And then volume 20 is kind of where it starts picking up a bit. We get them escaping because of Sanji, and then Luffy gets stabbed by a crocodile. But then we see for the first time Miss All Sunday, or Robin, kind of like saves Luffy for the first time. I feel like this is the very first time we see her not being like villainous. Pretty interesting. And then I have 6 hours and 27 minutes to finish the last 3 volumes in this box set. And with that, I'm actually now completed with the box set. I finished the last 3 volumes, 21, 22, and 23. These 3 volumes, I would say, are your pretty typical ending of a shonen arc. So in volume 21, we have some fights with like Nami and Zoro with their equivalently strong counterparts on like the other side of like Baroque Works. And yeah, it was good overall. Typical shonen fights, getting stronger as you fight. Volume 22, we get more into the fights with Crocodile and Luffy, where Luffy's just kind of like losing a bunch of times and then coming back and, you know, winning in the end, basically. This is basically the volume where we see Robin kind of almost betray Crocodile. I mean, it's kind of like the other way around as well, but yeah, it's pretty interesting to see. I wonder when she'll like come back, and I know she joins the crew at some point, so I just don't know like when that happens and what the timeline is with that. So pretty interested in that. And then volume 23 is the end of the arc. So Luffy defeats Crocodile. They stop like a huge explosion in Alabasta, and all is good in the world. Vivi almost joins the crew, but she doesn't. They all have like a huge celebration and a speech at the end. So overall, yeah, it was enjoyable to read. Would I have enjoyed it more if it wasn't within a 24-hour time span? Of course. I'm exhausted right now, and so I do have 3 hours to spare. I definitely did finish that faster than I thought I was going to. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to join the Manga Society today. And as always, this world is cruel, but at least we have manga.